So today we're looking at the pattern fill feature in Cricut Design Space. If you haven't yet discovered that, it's a really fun way to sort of add different effects to your Design Space projects. So here we can see that the operation for this circle is actually a basic cut, but we can click on the down button, select print and cut, then click on the coloured square, and in the drop down box select pattern. This will then give you a whole selection of different patterns for you to scroll through. You can click on them by turn to sort of see the different effects that are going to be filling your shape, see what colours you like, see what looks best, and generally have a bit of a play. I did give these different patterns a bit of a count, and I counted over 1,000 patterns. There's all sorts there: Christmas, Halloween, children's themes, even some Sesame Street patterns. So now you've learned how to introduce patterns to your designs, I'm now going to show you how to take it one step further to produce this really lovely monogram design which I made for a friend as a birthday card. So first of all, I'm going to find my image, and I'm going to hop over to the image library, and I'm going to put split H with Daisy. And here we go, here we come up with the design. So I'm going to click on the design there and add it to my canvas. And I'm going to keep this design here on the left, just that you can sort of see what I'm achieving. I'm going to actually bring this down now. I'm going to size it down by using the handles on the right bottom corner. If you don't want to use those, alternatively, you can go up into the size box here on the top toolbar, and you can use the arrow keys. You can sort of make that smaller and then go up to make that bigger. So I think that's probably, now I want to go a little bit bigger than that on this occasion. There we go. I'm just going to sort of center it on there. Now, to actually get these white inserts here, what we're actually going to do is we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to use the contour tool to actually use parts of this design so that we can color them white and sit them behind the original design. So I'm just going to go onto the contour button first. And to start off with, you can sort of see here there's actually a list of all the individual shapes that make up this design. And first off, I'm just going to go and take that background off so we can jump back to here and you can see what that now looks like. Now if I change that to white, going up to my operations box up here and the coloured box, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to change it to white. And now you can see we've got that design there. It's going to sort of match in there. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to send it backwards, just one layer. And on my sidebar here, if I actually click on one layer and then hold my shift key down and click on the next one, I can highlight both of those. And if I go onto the align button and click on center, that's going to bring them together. So now I can sort of see what elements I've got here and where I want to take white out. So obviously I want to take that white bar out because here we've actually put a name in. I've also got these white areas here. We can sort of see in the other design that doesn't need to be solid. So I'm going to go back onto that white area and I'm going to click back onto contour. And in the bar here, I can actually match up some of these shapes. So I can see this shape is this one here. So I'm going to click on that one. And I can also see that these next two shapes here refer to these two shapes that we didn't want there. So I'm going to do that there. And then we're going to hop back and see what that's looking like. So that's great because that's now taken out the colour from our bar. It's also done that on here. I can see that we've got some areas where we want the white on. If you can see on this other one, we've actually got the little bees whited out, so I'm going to jump back and do that. And we've also got some of the centers of these flowers are actually showing the color from the background, so I'm just going to jump back onto that one again and click on the contour. So I'm going to come down. Easiest way at the minute is just to come down here, and I'm going to find the bees because I know I want those on there. And then we need to find the little circles. That's not quite so easy, because once we come all the way down here, you can see that actually there's an awful lot of circles. So I'm just going to hop back onto my design first, just to double check. Yeah, my little bees, I'm just going to zoom in for you a little bit so you can see I've got the little bees are now white. And I'm looking at these circles on here, so I want to do those circles there. And then I think perhaps you might just turn these little circles white, the inners of those as well. So I'm just going to go back onto the contour, and we're going to come and we're going to do this one here. This one here we're going to turn off. This one we're going to click on as well, and that one, this one here, and this one here. And again, you can use this to sort of scroll in to get right in. So I'm going to go back onto my design here. So I've actually taken out the colour of that center of the flower just to give it a bit of color coming through. It's just personal taste if you actually want to leave it as the white. We've got these bits here whited in, and these ones here, but actually where we've gone and clicked on something, it's also caught one of these legs of the H, so we're just going to have to jump back on there. And if you can see, the larger parts are shown first on your sidebar, and you can see, because this is now greyed out, that it's actually taken that shape away. So if I go and click that, because I want that part of the design, and we go back, you can see that that H has now appeared back there. So I'm really happy with those. I'm going to go ahead and on the sidebar, I'm going to hold down Shift and hold down that one, and I'm now going to group them. And as you can see on our original design, I've actually popped the name of the person. So you can use this with any monogram design. There's so many monograms available in Cricut Design Space. It's just worth having a look through just to sort of see what you might like. But to add this text here, I'm going to open up a text box here. Just going to bring that text box up there so you can see it. So I'm just going to double click on that. I'm going to go back there, and the actual text that you can see up here is Alexis Mattox, and that's Emma Ray. So I'm just going to type my name that I want. I've got Hannah there. So obviously I don't like the spacing of that. I actually want it all joined up like it is in this original design. So before I do anything at all, I'm going to come up here. You'll notice that when we select a text, it actually comes up with all of these different menus at the top here where we can do lots of different things with the text. And this one here has got letter space. So if I start to use the down button on this, you'll see the number go down, but as I do it, that is then bringing the text closer together. I'm just going to go another little nudge. I don't think the A needs to go a little bit more, and maybe those ends. Okay, so actually that's not too bad. I'm just not entirely happy with this bit here where that H is. So if I click on that box again, we've also got an advanced menu up here. So if I click on the drop down box there, I can ungroup these letters, because at the moment this is one entity, it's one unit. But if I ungroup those, we can come along to here and see now each of these letters are separate units, and I can move them how I want to. So I've clicked on to that last H, and I'm going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard just to sort of nudge it along a little bit. I can just sort of see where that H is. I've nudged that along. I'm quite happy about that. I don't think I'm going to get it any better than that. So now what I need to do is I need to group those back up together, but I'm also going to weld them so that they're one sort of unit and all joined together. I'm now going to take that and I'm going to size it down, and I'm going to bring it up onto the monogram there. Let's just sort of see what that's like. I think I need to have it just a little bit smaller than that. Again, you can use these handles, or you can hop up to the toggle bar up there. That's too small. Yeah, 0.3. That's about right. Maybe I just want it very, very, very slightly smaller. I think I'm going to do 0.28. I can enter in, I move my mouse so I can enter in an actual amount, and I'm quite happy. I think I'm going to pop that just there. Right, so what I'm going to do now, just to make sure that this is all centered, is I'm going to pop that like that, and I'm then going to come to align, and I want to align it center up horizontally, so we've actually got that there. I'm going to take this whole design, I'm going to group it, and then I'm going to flatten it. So that's going to enable us to send it to print. And on this occasion, the actual black layer that I've added to this, I actually don't want to print that around my card design. I'm going to actually cut it out of card so that I can mount my printed design up to give it some dimension. So to get our black card, if I just show you from here, if I ungroup this, I've got my print and cut element here. You can sort of see here over in the right hand toolbar, showing our layers. We've got our print and cut design, and then if I go onto there, that one there is our basic cut scallop circle. So I'm just going to pop that back there. But if we go into images, I'll show you how I found that. I've just come up onto here, and I'm just going to search scalloped circle, and this is the one I've used today. I'm just going to add that there. I really like the look of that actual scallop. You can see once I've clicked on that on the layers bar on the right hand side, there's actually two elements to this, so I don't actually want that yellow element, so I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to go up to the delete button up here and click delete, and that just leaves me with my shape. And I'm just going to bring that like that. I'm going to just bring it just a little bit, and I'm going to come up to the arrange button, and I'm going to send it to the back, and I'm also going to then just take them like that and use the align key again and just center. And I'm just thinking, right, okay, it's a little bit tight. I might like it just a teeny bit bigger. I'm just going to use that toggle up there just to make it one more. I'm just going to highlight both of those, click center, and if I'm happy with that, I'm a lot happy with that now. So now what I can do is I can send that to make, and I think I'm now happy with that. So now this element here, which if I just, you can sort of see is not grouped with that, that's the print and cut. So I can hit make, send this design to my printer, and then the Cricut machine is actually then going to cut around the outside of that circle, and then on some black card I can cut out my scalloped border. And now I can show you, if I go on to make it here, we're making it on a mat, and now you can actually see we've got our print design here, where the machine's you're gonna send it to your printer, print it, and then pop it back onto your Cricut mat to cut. And then if we just come down here, you can also see we've got our second mat there, which is going to cut our black scalloped circle out as our bottom layer out of some black card. So I'm going to click on Send to Printer. And I'm going to keep the add bleed on because we're cutting around an edge onto a white piece of paper. I just want to make sure that they've got a bit of manoeuvre there to cut that out without any white lines showing. I'm also going to use my system dialog, because that means then you can actually, once you click print, you can then go on and find your printer and then click on the preferences. And in this instance, I would change the quality to best. And then it's just a case of hitting print. And then once you've printed it, you're going to choose what you've printed the design onto. So in this case, I like to use the heavy cardstock setting. I've used a sort of a medium weight, but I do find the heavy cardstock is more likely to cut through. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to set it to more. Check that I've got my fine point blade in the machine, and then I'm going to click Make. When you first upload a print and cut design into the Cricut machine, you'll notice that a little light comes on underneath where the cutting head is. It's now going to sort of move over those black registration marks, so it's actually got a reference point as to where it's going to cut. The machine's then going to check it's got the right blade in, and then off it goes. And you'll see when I actually pull the waste away, you'll see where the actual design bled over. So we've got no white edges on our design. And now once we've cut our print design out, we can come on and we can pop the black card onto the mat and put that into machine. I'm going to again go on to Make It, and I'm going to check heavy cardstock again, and I'm going to click More, and then I'm going to load the mat into the machine, and when it's ready, click Start. And here's our final design popped onto a card. I do hope you found this video interesting and helpful. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you know when my next video is being released. There's many more to come with lots of hints, tips and tricks and inspiration for using your Cricut machine. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram @Elska Crafts.